The commander of the United States Marshals Fugitive Task Force, which covers 8 cities in the northern district of Ohio. I have Alan Edwards up here with me, which is one of our lead task force officers. Alan is assigned to our task force from the City of Mansfield Police Department. And Alan, along with, I'm looking around the room, I see Shane is here, and I see some of the members of ASORT and Mansfield Police Department that worked this case to the bone. When we got information that this fugitive was in our backyard, and it was merely by luck that his vehicle happened to break down here. He had no ties here. Why he ended up here, it was his biggest mistake. His biggest mistake he could have made was end up in Richland County. And it truly was a team group effort that was coordinated from the bottom up. You know, usually all the bosses want to come in and say they take the credit for it and say it was coordinated from the top down. It wasn't. It was the officers that showed up volunteering to work, to trek through miles of mud and ravines to search for this individual that was, like Bridget said, causing havoc and fear in the community. Schools were on lockdown. Everybody was afraid to leave their houses. But it was the information, it was the partnerships that exist within law enforcement that we already have here, that exists with the City of Mansfield, with the Richland County Sheriff's Office, with all the surrounding partners of law enforcement that brought everybody together. We captured him together. It was truly, it was a group effort. I had the privilege of serving down in this area for 2 years of my career. And not being a native, I was welcomed with arms wide open by the entire community, not just the law enforcement community, but the entire community. In case you haven't picked up, I'm from the Northeast. I'm from New York City. And coming from New York City to Richland County is a little different. You know, it's a little different than the Big Apple. And I'll tell you something, seeing the response and seeing the way the community reacted during the Christie investigation reminded me of the way New York was after 9/11. And having been in law enforcement after 9/11 and seeing the goodness that came out of everybody coming together and working for one common goal, it was special. It was really, really special. And we worked together, all agencies. It's almost rare in the world of law enforcement. Everybody works so well together, but everybody works so well together. And when he was captured, he said to the officers on scene, these were his words. He said, the one mistake I made in the last 100+ days on the run is that he picked Ohio to dump that car. That was his words. Nobody gave up. We had so many officers that were showing up to volunteer to work around the clock. And the best part about it is when I got to see this woman walking into the room. I was having a long day. We had worked 20 out of 24 hours. We're going on minimal sleep. And Bridget shows up with a group of wives, police wives, that brought us food. They brought us food and beverages. And it was just the little things that go a long way. Because the men and women that were working this investigation, they were sacrificing their days, their livelihood, in order to bring this case to closure. And the thing that means so much about the sacrifices that they took, and I've said this before, is that you all are members of this community. The police officers, the sheriff's deputies, the parole officers, the state troopers that were out on this, sacrificing their time with their families to get this fugitive captured. It meant a lot to them to see folks like Bridget coming in with a warm meal, a pair of socks to change your dirty boots from trekking through the fields looking for them. So it's very special for me to be part of this and just to be one spoke on the wheel. But the men and women that fill this room in uniform, as well as, gosh, a couple of hundred that aren't here, it's amazing, and I'm extremely proud to say I'm part of it. And thank you for having me here. So I appreciate all the assistance from the community.